Good morning.
Good morning. So good morning and good afternoon to everyone joining. We're just going to give it one more minute and we'll kickstart. Well, I think we can eventually start. So hi again to everyone on the call, and thank you for joining us today for the Utimaco virtual channel spotlight featuring our partnership with Nexus Group. So for people that know Jamie Garner, who is the EMEA channel sales director for Utimaco, is unfortunately not able to be with us today, but no worries. Actually, the French version of Jamie, so everything will be fine. Jokes aside, my name is Geoffrey Portier, and I'm part of Jamie's team, responsible for channel partners in the Benelux, France, Iberia, and African region, and obviously very pleased to be with you all today. Before we start, a bit of housekeeping. Please make sure that you keep being muted, and if you've got any questions, please feel free to use the chat bar. We'll try to answer all your questions during the session, but if not, we'll take them and we'll make sure you got an answer. Also, for the presenters that have got their own presentation, please make sure that when this is your time, unmute yourself and share your screens. Thanks in advance, everyone. All right, so before we get into the session, I will be providing the agenda in a minute. I think this is important to explain and remind the channel community that we have today about Utimaco investments into the channel team, with obviously a number of people that have joined the Utimaco group about a year ago, including myself, with obviously the ambition to work better and stronger with the channel community, as well as grow, diversify, scale the business with the help of our channel and technology partners. There's actually this African proverb, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people on these sessions have heard about it before, that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And this is basically what we believe in at Utimaco. We know the importance of working with partners because we've done it before and successfully, and we are not here for the short term. So we are definitely growing strong as a channel organization. We've recently standardized our channel program called Unity during the RSA conference, and we'll be launching in the next couple of weeks our online channel portal for partners to access to online marketing, technical training resources, and also deal rage process. There is obviously always room for improvement, but we are committed to the channel. We believe that we are more agile as an organization, looking at what the competition is offering today, and we want to provide more value to our partners like Nexus. So at the end of the day, we are easier to do business with, and we are collectively more successful. All right, so if I move into the agenda for today, we've already done the introduction bit. Just after that, we're going to have Michael, who is Senior Solution Architect at Nexus, talking about the combined offering between Nexus and Utimaco and why we are better together. Then I will be leading a fireside chat between Volker and Paul from Nexus and Utimaco, talking about the strategic importance of this partnership. And then we'll have the pleasure to hear from Rajiv from Nexus, Osvaldo from Utimaco, and from Bartos from Cisco about customer use cases and success stories from Nexus and Utimaco working together with channel partners. Finally, we'll have a marketing update from Giro at Utimaco, providing the latest updates about the marketing collaterals and assets at your disposal when we will obviously close the session. So without any delay, and I hope, Michael, you are on the line.
Yes,
are you with
I'm
us,
here.
Michael? Hello, Michael. Amazing. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good.
Great.
Thanks a lot for the introduction.
You're welcome.
Also, a warm welcome from my side. I'm happy to see so many people joining that session.
Amazing. The floor is yours, Michael.
Yeah, thank you. Let me quickly share my screen. Here we go. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, cool. Yeah, thanks again for the introduction. So as Geoffrey mentioned, I'll give you an overview about our joint offering. So how is Nexus and Utimaco positioning our solutions together on the market? But yeah, would like to start also with a brief introduction about Nexus and EN Group. So the agenda is first, as I said, introduce the group, then look a bit into PKI solutions, then have also focus on IoT and OT, specifically factory CA, operational CA, where we think we have a quite nice joint offering and also good customer references already. Then I'll look a little bit into encryption and specifically some endpoint solution where we work together, smart cards as a service, and a brief outlook, what will come up during this year from Nexus and Utimaco. Yeah. So Nexus and EN Group, we are working in the area of trusted identity. So everything is about identities. Therefore, our slogan is the right to be you. Reason why I'm talking about not only about Nexus, but also about EN Group is because we are part of the French EN Group since now almost 4 years. The EN Group, based in France, Paris, headquartered, is the French state printing agency, so similar to the German Bundesdruckerei. So EN Group is issuing all the passports, national ID cards, driver licenses, and stuff since almost 500 years in France. So we have in total 2,000 employees worldwide, working in 130 countries. We're issuing more than 2 billion digital identities every year. Nexus is bringing basically the part of workforce, workplace, ID, IoT, OT solutions into the group. That's the reason basically why we joined the group, to strengthen the positioning in this area. We are working with customers in the public and private sector, many DAX-listed companies. We have offices in Stockholm, which is the Nexus headquarter, for sure in Paris, in Karlsruhe, Germany, Berlin, Düsseldorf, but also in Pune in India. Yeah, brief overview about the organization. I won't go into the details, but just that you have.
Salam alaikum, was geht?
Sorry? Any question from the audience? No? Okay. So brief overview what the group is doing, that you have an idea who we are and then which areas we are working. So the first part is identities, which is the typical EN Group business from the last 500 years, issuing passports, issuing national ID cards, driver licenses, all the governmental business. Then we have an area called secure components, where we develop secure hardware components, chiplets, antennas, biometric solutions, hologram solutions, and these kind of things. And then we have the area of digital services, which is basically the business unit where also Nexus is placed with the workforce and IoT and workplace business lines. So there are basically two business lines which are covered by Nexus. On top of that, in the digital services unit, we have secure rights management, where we, for instance, offer tachograph solutions in the European Union, but also working on the area of self-certain identities, verifiable credentials, with areas where we really do paper printing, official papers in the print to digital business line, and we have a business line called digital identity, where we offer solutions for identity verification. So verification of passports, national ID cards and stuff, for sure, in the area of border control and so on. This is a subsidiary in the Netherlands called Kiesing, providing that solution. And yeah, what's also important to understand, even though that we are the state-owned company issuing passports since hundreds of years, we do not have the only focus on that area. So our turnover is split at 30% each, more or less, per business unit. So we have a very strong footprint also in the digital services area. Yeah, that's it about EN Group and Nexus. To give you an idea with which customers are working, I have here a slide of selected references. You see we're present in basically all industries, in banking sector, in the public sector, research with, for instance, Karlsruhe Institute of Technologies, Banque de France, but also other banks in Asia, our customers, energy sector, we have customers, yeah, basically everywhere, because you need the digital identities in each and every segment. So what's driving us currently are the well-known buzzwords, so to speak, for sure, zero trust signing, multi-factor authentication, but we see also that European regulations such as NIS2 or the upcoming Cyber Resilience Act is very important for our customers. They have a huge impact on them in workplace, workforce, but also IoT area. That's the reason why we are adjusting and preparing our offering accordingly to address these new EU regulations, but also post-quantum, since PKI and asymmetric encryption is an important topic for us. Post-quantum is definitely also on our agenda. Yeah, before we go into our joint solutions, maybe a word on our joint positioning as Nexus and Utimaco. We basically see us as a European leader in the public, but also private sector. Here we see that customers prefer basically security made in Europe. So many European customers, especially in the public sector, try to avoid, for instance, solutions from China. And here we are strong together, having Nexus and Utimaco as a German, French, Swedish company, where we do not only the business in Europe, but also develop our solutions in Europe. And as I said, European regulations are also a very important driver for new business in that region. And for sure, as French-German organizations, we are also connected in the relevant associations such as the French ACN or the German Teletrust, where we engage ourselves. Yeah. To start with the actual joint offering, I would like to give you a brief overview how our solutions fit together. And if you look on that picture, you see pretty well that our Nexus Utimaco offering is highly complementary. So we have on the one hand, for sure, the HSM from Utimaco, which connects then naturally to the PKI from Nexus, but also to the certificate lifecycle management platform. But also then on the user side, we have on the one hand LangCrypt or disk encrypt solution where the end users encrypt the files and folders or the whole disk. Where we can contribute from Nexus with a smart card solution, with smart card middleware, with a mobile SDK that we integrate. So you see, when we connect the pieces, we have a very good and smooth end-to-end solution that we can offer our customers together. So for sure, the Nexus traditional business is PKI and the Utimaco traditional business is HSM. So let's start looking into this, how we fit together here. On the one hand, Nexus has a very high performant, high secure PKI platform, which is common criteria certified EAL4+. We have the possibility to manage the whole PKI hierarchy, online, offline route, intermediate, multi-tenancy. We're up to date with all our algorithms, not only RSA and ECC. We have also implemented the latest post-quantum algorithms, now waiting basically for approval from NIST and from the European organizations. We have extensive support for standard automation protocols, APIs, which is very important nowadays to get things automated, not only in workforce and workplace, but also in the IoT business. We have joint customers, high performance, load balancing, high availability for sure is important for all of our customers. And complementing that PKI for sure with the Utimaco multipurpose HSM, also high secure, made in Germany, has certifications for VSNFD, for instance, which is important in the public sector, multi-tenancy, post-quantum ready. You see a very good fit. Yeah, which makes a very powerful package made in Europe. Which is, I think, much better to sell it together. It's sometimes hard to sell a standalone HSM, but at the same time, selling only a PKI without an HSM sounds a bit stupid. You need both. Yeah, but then when you talk to the customers and prospects, you quite often have the situation they say, "Oh, we have already a PKI." But let's think about why you should even consider then migrating to another PKI. Then I think there are several good reasons to look into your PKI environment. Think about, is it still up to date? Should I do something with it? Is there maybe even an urgent need to migrate to a modern and up-to-date PKI? So first of all, think about the current supplier. Maybe you're running even end-of-life products, or it will be soon discontinued, it's end of support, then it's very urgent to work on it. But sometimes it's just expiring CAs, intermediate root CAs or something, which could be a good point in time to move to a new platform. Sometimes, especially large customers, have also development teams extending PKIs, developing interfaces, doing integrations and stuff where you maybe nowadays could work with standard APIs. and can reduce or even replace completely internal development activities with a standard out-of-the-box solution. But then there are just also coming up new use cases, for instance, from IoT sector that we didn't have in the past. Especially, as I said, driven by new regulations, new security requirements in the IoT sector. You can fulfill them pretty good with a PKI solution. Then new features to be more efficient, to automate things might not be available in the old product. As I said, standard APIs such as ACME, EST, CAP, and so on, which is important for automation to connect to devices, to roll out certificates, to manage them. And last but not least, you also should think about, am I compliant with new regulations such as NIS2, which, for instance, requires processes and policies to manage your cryptography. That's clearly stated in the NIS2 regulation, which means you need to have a process to be always state of the art with your crypto algorithms. And then you should think about, does this really work with your existing PKI? Also thinking long-term about post-quantum readiness. So this more or less leads to the term that you might know here and there, crypto agility, which describes basically this process to have an ongoing continuous process, watching your PKI environment, your applications, and keeping everything up to date. Yeah, what we also see quite often at our customers, that there is a quite scattered landscape of PKIs. You have here and there maybe a Microsoft ADCS PKI environment. Many instances may be managed by different teams. Maybe another vendor like Ideonomic PKI, self-signed PKIs even, or some other legacy PKIs. Which you should consider to consolidate and move it into one platform to have a better overview, better control over your environment, and also save costs. So having multiple islands with different PKIs from different vendors maybe is just costly, yeah, taking a lot of resources in your team. Yeah, besides the typical good old workforce business where we issue certificates to users and maybe devices, I would also like to look into IoT business, which is, I think, quite interesting, and there's a huge potential on the market for us, Nexus and Utimaco. What we're doing here, sorry, I just saw that I'm missing one slide, which is for whatever reason hidden. Unhide. Sorry for that. Let's continue. Do you see still my slides?
Nope. Yeah, I think you probably need to share it again.
Okay, and let me share again.
Thank you.
Sorry for the mess. Now you should see it again, right?
All good.
Okay,
yes,
good. Let's continue.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, now here's the slide that I was waiting for. So what we are doing with the PKI in the IoT business is for sure also issuing trusted identities for the devices, no matter what kind of device it is. And when we talk about identities in the IoT business, you typically have two types of identities. You have, first of all, birth identity. An identity which is created already during the production, when the device, consumer device, industry device, whatever, is built in the factory. And then you have an operational identity, which is issued when the device is activated in the field. Sometimes we keep even the birth identity permanently, but typically it gets replaced and renewed in the operational environment in the field. This is the overall concept that we see in many different areas in the IoT OT business in, let's say, different flavors. How does it basically work? So when we talk about identities, for sure we are talking about PKI-based identities. So we issue a digital certificate to a product, to a device, which the device is using for authentication, for encryption, for signing, for secure communication in the field, basically. And to reflect these two kinds of identities that I just mentioned, we have also two PKI environments. We have the so-called factory CA, a PKI that we deploy together with an HSM in the factory, because, for instance, the factory wants to avoid a dependency to an online connectivity, or for security reason wants to run the whole factory offline. Therefore, it's quite typical to have the factory CA on site, which is issuing during the production this birth certificate. But then we have an operational PKI, which we typically run as a service, so that when you activate the device in the field, you get immediately a new certificate via the service that is from then on used for secure communication, for instance, to connect to the vendor's update service to get new software updates, firmware updates, software patches, and so on, but always in a secure manner. Secure authentication, encrypted communication channel, signed updates, to make sure that you really get the software from your vendor and not from a hacked whatever service. To give you an example that we together have.
Michael, sorry for the interruption. This is Hani Mored from Egypt, from MCBR.
Yeah. You have a question? Sorry? Any questions? No?
Continue, Michael. He will
Okay.
come back.
Yeah, we can take the questions in the end. Okay, coming back to my reference case. Yeah, we have implemented together such a solution, Utimaco and Nexus, with Stihl. You know Stihl for sure from as a worldwide known chainsaw supplier. But Stihl is also selling, for instance, lawnmowers. And we have implemented this factory operational CA solution for the Stihl lawnmowers, where we basically do exactly what I've described on a generic level, that we have in the Stihl factory, the factory CA issuing the birth certificate for the initial authentication and encrypted communication with the Stihl service. But when you activate the Stihl lawnmower first time in the field, it connects to the operational CA, gets new software updates, gets firmware updates, patches, whatever, via a secure channel. This is also very important. So on the one hand, Stihl as a well-known and good established brand wants to make sure that their lawnmowers are secure and do not end up in newspaper that a hacked lawnmower is going crazy and running into the pool or even injuring people. This is their strategy to be secure, basically. But at the same time, we have European regulations, such as the European Cyber Resilience Act, which is coming up, which basically requires all vendors of connected products in Europe to roll out at least over 5 years firmware updates, software updates, to have all the devices that are sold in Europe, have them always secure and up to date with no vulnerabilities. So sooner or later we will have a law that is enforcing that in Europe. And therefore it's important that the vendors are preparing for that. Yeah, and we have several other customer cases, joint customer cases, where we do the same thing, and we see, based also on this European regulation, a huge potential on the market together. Good. Another part of this scenario is also code signing. So when we roll out firmware updates, patches, software updates from the factory into the device, we for sure should sign them. So we can verify on the device that this is a valid software patch from, let's say, from Stihl as a manufacturer. And we from Nexus have released in spring this year a new code signing component as part of our PKI. So we can sign a piece of code with our code signing component before we roll it out, so that the device can verify, okay, that's really coming from Stihl and not from a Chinese hacker or whatever. And as part of the whole story, when you want to be secure, when you, especially in the industry, in the IoT business, it also makes sense to talk about standards. And yeah, here I've just some standards that we're working on, that we're supporting. There are probably much more. For instance, when we talk about connected devices in the area of home automation, there is a standard called Matter, which is coming up now. The aim of Matter is to harmonize all the communication between devices in the home automation. We are part of the corresponding association. We have a certified Matter CA for attestation certificates. But also in the industry, there is, I think, a well-known standard OPC UA for communication between industry devices. We have also launched this year a first integration of OPC UA interface into our PKI. But we also want to make sure that authentication and secure communication in the OPC UA environment is done certificate-based. This is basically part of the OPC UA standard, that they communicate via certificates. Then another example is the 3GPP standard in the area of mobile network infrastructure, backhaul protection for 4G, 5G networks that we have also implemented in our PKI since many years. And for sure, for all these scenarios, we rely on HSMs in the background, not only selling PKIs, but bundled with an HSM. Yeah, that's it from the PKI perspective. I would like to jump now to the next area where we work together with Utimaco. I bundled it under the headline encryption. Where we are working on joint solutions in the area of disk encryption, file and folder encryption, smart cards, digital certificates, and so on. I'll give you just a brief overview of what we are doing, not digging into details, but if you have questions on this, for sure, I'm happy to support you on that. I'd like to start with LANcrypt, especially LANcrypt Mobile. Some of you might know LANcrypt, a file and folder encryption offered by Utimaco, which is available on the desktop, but also on the mobile. So the scenario is you have a mobile app that you want to use to connect to files on a SharePoint maybe with your app. But to do this, you need also certificates. And Here we are working currently on two scenarios. On the one hand, you might have a certificate on the smart card that you present via the NFC channel to the smartphone. And the actual authentication and decryption is done based on the certificate on the smart card. This means you have your certificate always in a very high secure environment. The smart card, it will never leave the card. The phone is connecting to the card via the NFC channel to do the actual crypto operation and access files on a shared folder. But we're looking also together into a mobile-only solution where we enroll the certificate on the Nexus mobile app and provide this to the LANcrypt app for the same use case. We have already a POC for the smart card case in the field, and we are planning to have a joint release on this later this year. But when we talk about smart cards, there is another use case, or maybe several other use cases. So the most important from the Utimaco product perspective is, besides LANcrypt, also disk encrypt, where you rely on smart cards. You might know disk encrypt is a solution that is also important for the area of BSNFD compliant communication in Germany. And when you want to unlock your encrypted disk, you typically do this with a smart card. But when we talk about smart cards for LANcrypt and disk encrypt, you might ask yourself, where will the smart cards come from? And here we can complement that from Nexus, closing the gap basically. We from Nexus can provide not only an on-prem smart card management solution, but we offer this also as a easy to use, very convenient service to issue and manage the smart cards, either directly via Nexus or via a partner here based in Germany, to issue smart cards as a service, either an ordinary enterprise ID or a BSNFD compliant smart card. So especially small customers, medium-sized customers, which is quite often the case for BSNFD compliancy, do not have the expertise, not the resources to deploy and run their own smart card lifecycle management. And here, providing this as a service is the key. This means you do not even have your own card printer, card encoder. You just go to the ordering portal, say, I need a new smart card for my employee, and it will be produced, encoded, and shipped to you ready to use. Yeah, that's basically it from my side. A brief outlook, what will come up next this year. First of all, Nexus and Utimaco will have a joint booth at ITSA in October this year. We'll present together our solutions. So not only the ones that you've seen here, there will come probably much more. Then, as I said, we're looking forward to a joint release of our LANcrypt mobile offering later this year. And we'll launch most probably several initiatives together, sales initiatives, marketing initiatives, for example, for PKI migrations and so on. Yeah, if you have any questions, happy to answer them either now or in the end, if we have time.
Yeah, thank you, Michael. I think because we are a little bit behind schedule, I will recommend, and there is, I think, two questions, one from Omar and one from Annie, to potentially answer them on the chat bar, so we can move on with the next sessions. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Then I take the questions afterwards, either
Yes.
per mail or per chat. Good.
Yes, that will be great. Well, thank you very much, Michael, for this a very good presentation. I think this is giving some really good example of why we are better, together with customer use cases between, obviously Utimaco and Nexus, with a high level, like you said, of complementarity between our two portfolios. So thanks again for this presentation. Okay, great. So I think this is time for me now to welcome Volker and Paul from Nexus and Utimaco management to the Fireside chat. Good morning, gentlemen. How are we doing today?
Good morning. Thanks.
Good morning.
Pretty nice. Are you serving some cigars and cognac now, or Geoffrey?
Probably wait a little bit later.
Okay, too early in the morning, right?
No,
But
thanks
might be a nice idea.
Yes, no, thanks for joining me today, guys. It's good to have the two of you on the call. So before maybe we start rolling with some questions, will it be fine introducing yourselves as well, the roles that you have within Utimaco and Nexus?
Yes, happy to do. Shall I start, Paul? Is that fine?
Yes, please.
Okay, good. Yeah, my name is Volker Kunz. I'm VP of Business Development at Nexus, as well as I'm the Managing Director of the German GmbH in Karlsruhe. I'm in this, let's say, secure identities, trusted identities business since now already 24 years, crazy long. Yeah, also I need to say in this context, have a long-term relationship with Utimaco, even in my early days working for a smart card reader manufacturer called OmniKey, where Utimaco was our shareholder. So I think apart from all the complementarity we have, it's also a long-term relationship I have with many people at Utimaco, and it's always a pleasure to work together.
Thank you. So, as you can see, Volker and I pretend to be virtually in the same fireplace room. Although today the summer has started officially, right, at the 21st of June, not here in the Netherlands. So my name is Paul van Hucht. I'm from the Netherlands, close to Amsterdam. I'm the VP of Sales in Utimaco. I joined about 8-9 months ago. And so I've been in this industry for a longer time. I joined from Encipher, amongst other companies. So happy to be here and supporting this great initiative. Thanks, Geoffrey.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Volker, for the introduction. So let me start maybe with the first question, and I pretty much like this first one, and this is one for you, Paul, to start with. So obviously, some of the partners that we've got on the call today are fully aware of the portfolio from Utimaco, in particular, the historical PKI solution. Would you be okay to explain what has changed in the last couple of weeks with regards to this particular offering? So we are, obviously, we make sure that this is clear for our partner community.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Geoffrey. We have, we are constantly, evaluating our offering, our product offering in the market with the requirements of the market and requirements of our customers and partners. And we made the decision not to continue with our PKI solutions internally. Of course, we will maintain. We want to maintain and support our current customer base, etc. But we choose to partner with a market leader, which we are talking to today here in this great Better Together session. So that's basically the short of it. We're partnering with the likes of Nexus is what we are going to do and what we are actually doing.
Great. No, thank you. This is very clear. Thanks, Paul. If I go probably to the second question, and this one is for you, Volker and Paul, and maybe you want to start on this one. Volker, why, according to you, is this partnership between Utimaco and Nexus important into the current business landscape?
Yeah, thanks, Geoffrey, and thanks, Paul, for your statement. I think, as we have shown, the portfolios are totally complementary. It just makes sense to work together. But looking into the overall picture of what's going on the market, I think customers are looking for ready-to-go solutions, yeah, use case driven. Like Michael was presenting the factory CA case, and you will see some other examples later in the reference case story, which also Osvaldo and Rajiv will show. The market as such is driven more and more by regulation. We just yesterday had a interesting webinar to NIS2, which I think majority of you know. Michael mentioned Cyber Resilience Act. And this is not only related to our traditional customer base, which is huge organizations in critical infrastructure. Regulation is driving this down to a much bigger audience. NIS2, just giving you an example for Germany, due to the NIS2 regulation, this is affecting 25,000 companies in Germany, also in the small, medium-sized market. And these companies typically don't have all the IT, let's say, expertise, power, and capacity to run solutions in this specific cybersecurity area. And I think there it really makes sense that strong players like Utimaco and us, being very complementary, work together and provide them an easy to go, easy to implement kind of solution, which we do and we will refer to. I think so that is, in my view, a key topic. In general, we work together since a long time. I mentioned that, and we have good business together. But we had a management meeting last year, October, in Paris, and really realizing, okay, let's get better together and do more than just reselling, really integrate our products. You have seen what Michael was showing about new product ideas, and it's more than ideas. It's going to happen. Being less, let's say, okay, we know each other and we like each other and we stand together, but also really integrate our solutions and work together in a much more proactive way, in the sense of the market as well, to serve the market in the best way, and customers. And obviously here we are in this partner audience. I think you will benefit from this as well, because it makes it easier for you to address addressable market.
Yeah, thanks, Volker. I don't have a lot to add, actually. I mean, we are both.
Long.
Thank you. We are both independent companies as well. You know, I think I'd like to add that we are not distracted by big motherships who want to turn the ship different directions every quarter or every half year, which is not good for long-term relationships and solutions. So I think focus is the key here, as Michael said as well, and you as well. We have ready-to-go solutions, which are, I mean, complementary PKI and HSMs, securing identities. I think we are better together, and I think that's the biggest reason why we do this partnership is focus and ready to go.
Thank you guys. So if we move to maybe the third question now, and maybe the last one for today, and again, this question is to the both of you. What is, according to you, make this partnership kind of unique between Utimaco and Nexus? I mean, what sort of, according to you guys, sort of key unique differentiators would you like to highlight to the channel community? So, you know, at the end of the day, we've got our channel partners that know exactly how to position us in front of customers, so we all, at the end of the day, maximize our chances of winning, you know, opportunities together. I'd like to have your views on your views on that.
Yeah, I mean, we are very channel friendly. Both companies are very channel friendly. We are long-standing companies as well, you know, as Volker said as well, and Michael explained the IN Group, hundreds of years out there. Utimaco exists 40 years, so and we're not part of anything bigger that distracts us. So we're also European companies. I think that is pretty important as well in the current marketplace and in the current environments. Like Volker said, there is a massive amount of use cases and references, which is very important to demonstrate to our prospects out there together with our channel, because that's always the first or the second question. You know, am I the first one, or have you done this before? Well, we have done this numerous times, and whatever use case you have, we have references together for that. So we're a very channel friendly organizations. We have joint products. So yeah, I think the uniqueness is the whole better together thing, as we described.
Maybe to add, I'm so self-confident to say, I think that we just provide the best product in each of our focus areas you can get on the market. I think that's a certain uniqueness as well. And Paul, you rightfully said, I think, and Michael mentioned it is in his slides, IT security made in Europe is a certain value. Of course, we are serving globally, to not make any questions here. But of course, our core markets are in Europe as well. And European technology in this overall geopolitical picture, specifically on trusted identities, is a topic which has a certain relevance. Michael mentioned that as well. And I think that is also a uniqueness we can play on. And I think you also realize that many regulations in the cybersecurity environment are driven by the European Union. So this is impacting not only companies in Europe, it's also everyone who wants to sell, for example, products in Europe. Yeah. So Cyber Resilience Act, for example, is impacting companies in many other areas as well outside of Europe. So and that plays into our cards as well. And I think we are together strong in this area and see that as only one part, of course, but of our positioning as well.
Great. Well, thank you very much both for your time and the quality of your answers. And I think we are ready to go to the next round now. Thank you very much, Volker and Paul.
Thanks, Volker and Jeff.
Pleasure. Thanks, Paul and Geoffrey, and thanks to everyone.
Thank you, guys. All right. So if we are now jumping to the next round of this session, and actually we are very lucky to have one of our joint Nexus and Utimaco partner coming in today. So special thanks to Bartos from Cisco. I'd like to also welcome Osvaldo from Utimaco, who is the channel manager for Southern Europe and the Middle East, as well as Rajiv, channel manager for the Middle East and India from Nexus, and as introduced just before, Bartos, who is the PKI specialist from Cisco. So guys, the floor is yours. I'm pretty sure everybody is excited about hearing and learning from customer use cases and success stories that we've put together.
Thank you very much, Geoffrey. Hello, everyone. As said by Geoffrey, my name is Osvaldo Bucci, and I'm from the channel team. So I work with Geoffrey, Jamie, and all the partners here today. We are gonna talk in a minute about case studies and success stories that basically we managed to gain together with a joint offer from Utimaco, Nexus, and the channel partners. That is basically the main reason why we are here. I will do it with the help of Rajiv, that is the Alliance Manager of Nexus. So welcome, Rajiv, as well. You are going to introduce yourself in a minute. And with a special guest, Bartos, that is a PKI expert of one of the technology partner we work with. So Bartos is going to provide a real example how we, as vendors, both Utimaco And Nexus can work in a very, very effective way with our partners to basically to win deals. So let me start sharing my screen. All right. Do you see the screen?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. So I hand over to Rajiv so he can introduce himself and start talking about some interesting case studies managed together by Nexus. So Rajiv, please.
Yeah, thank you, Osvaldo, and great opportunity to speak to so many common partners. Uh, as Osvaldo mentioned, I the alliance manager and the partner manager who handles partners across the Asia region. Both the case studies that I will be speaking about are from my region as well. Uh, and that will give you an idea of generally of what the kind of success stories that we've seen with Utimaco. So as Michael was mentioning, we have typically two lines of business. One is the people identity and the second is the device identity. Since he has already gone that into detail, I'll not get into details. But I will just tell you that I will be giving you an example from each of these. So just to go to the next slide, Osvaldo. Yeah, so the first case study here is from a trust center in India. I think some background is required here. The root CA of India, which is about 14, 15 years old now, or more than that, yeah. That was actually set up by Nexus. So in a sense, the whole concept of people identity was brought to India by Nexus. So not just the root, but also when it comes to issuing CAs, Nexus dominates the market here. This particular case study is for one of the larger CAs which operate out of India and whose focus is on e-signing. This is a CA which does more than 100K e-signs on a normal day. So that's a pretty large volume. And this is a CA that is under the CCA of India. So, as you know, they use the Indian identity, which is Aadhaar, called as Aadhaar, to basically create this e-signs. So, and why have we used Utimaco here? For two particular reasons. One is, this is a very critical kind of, requirement, and obviously, especially, during the end of the financial year, etc. This is not a service that can fail. So the customer obviously wanted that we take complete ownership of it, make sure that it's up and running all the time. So Nexus chose to partner with Utimaco here because Utimaco has a solution that can be trusted and has got the best kind of price to performance ratio, so to speak. And we are talking of very large volumes here, so that gives you an idea of what critical work that we have done with Utimaco. Now to the next one, Osvaldo. Yeah, this is basically a telecom in the Middle East, and this is one of the largest telecoms actually in the Middle East. Telecom, as you know, is a very popular user of PKI. There are mandates that ask people to use PKI for securing the telecom network. So here, not only have we used PKI to secure the LTE network, but it's completely deployed as a platform. So it's the LTE network, the backhaul, etc., that's been secured. The workforce of is also secured, and so are the workplace devices. So in a sense that almost everything that PKI can do in a telecom setup has been done here. And this was a partner-led kind of a case. Again, I don't have to tell you how critical this is. Here, typically, Nexus is also a partner-centric organization. So when the partner came and said that we would like Nexus to set up the entire PKI platform themselves, and take ownership of the entire PKI platform, not just from a solutioning angle, but also from, completely maintaining it as well. So it was very natural for us to think of Utimaco as our partners here. One of the key critical reasons here has been also the fact that one, we've already done these kind of cases with Utimaco in other regions. So, in the Middle East, it was a good case study, good experience for us. Second part was that, there was a lot of support available from Utimaco, and both sales as well as pre-sales to help us set up this particular thing. So, that's in short for both the case studies, Osvaldo. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Rajiv. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
So basically, you already spent a few words to explain why you decided to go with us and to do partnership with us. So as it is written in this slide, basically it's a matter of finding the right balance of performance and flexibility in what you offer. So I will quickly comment what is currently Utimaco today and why we consider ourselves and why Nexus is considering Utimaco as the better choice. So we are focused on few things, and of course, as we are focused on few things, we do those few things very, very well. So I can just recap what is Utimaco today, saying that we basically deal with data protection. We already commented this with Mikkel at the beginning. So basically, we are offering general purpose HSMs. And inside the data protection offering, we have this file, folder, and disk encryption solutions. And we then deal with key management. So we have an enterprise secure key manager solution that is required often as a complementary software layer when you have to manage keys and HSMs behind. And then we deal with secure payments. This means that we are basically offering HSMs dedicated to the payment sector because most of you are probably aware of the specific algorithms, specific certification required in the payment sector. And we also offer solution for the injections of keys in point of sales or anyway in devices in the financial sector. This is basically managed by Utimaco on-prem. So we do provide physical appliance or software, but we also provide this as a service. So we are very flexible in the way we offer our solutions to the market. So going to the main topic of today, that is basically general purpose HSMs, because it's mainly a general purpose HSM behind any PKI project. I want quickly to comment what we consider the point of strength of our offering. So referring to that flexibility that I mentioned to the beginning of my presentation. So the market is made of different requests in terms of performance, in terms of pricing. So basically, and I will show this in a couple of slides, we have a very wide range of HSMs that we can offer. So we can start from a very low performance, but low cost as well, HSM, that is often a perfect fit in situations where you don't need to manage many transactions per second, but you need to save money and you have to fit a specific budget. You want to win an RFP, going up to one of the fastest HSMs on the market. So you see on this slide, it is written 400,000 RSA to K operations per second. So this is to let you understand the different flavors we have in our offering, meaning flexibility for anyone doing business with us. We have a real multi-tenancy, and I will comment this as well in a couple of slides, thanks to the containerized HSMs we have inside the device. We have key partitioning, and we have also a specific, let's say, option pack for the HSMs to deal with specific topics like post-quantum. That is a big one coming in the next years. And of course, we are certified for all the possible applications. So we are certifying against FIPS. We are undergoing the new FIPS 140-3 level 3 certification. We are certified on the EIDA scheme. We are certified in the PCI environment for payments. I already said that we have one single device, but we can, let's say, customize it depending on the project you need to deal with with application package options. So if you are talking about post-quantum, we have the capability of running a real post-quantum environment. If you are talking about a telco environment, we have the capability of managing specific algorithms required in the 5G antennas project, for example. Same stuff if we talk about blockchain or specific applications like timestamp or double key encryption for Azure. And of course, we do provide a software development kit and SDK that is basically allowing any partner, technology partner, customer to customize the firmware and the functionality of the HSM. This is, I mean, a way to recap what I basically said. So you see on the top left side, basically how an HSM looks like. So it is basically a network appliance or a PCI card. And the most important thing I want to share with you now is what you see on the top right end of my slide. So basically the different type of HSMs we are providing. You see their numbers, so 100, 2K, 5K, 15K, 40K. That's basically the number of transactions per second at RSA2K we can manage. And this is very important because, as said at the beginning, flexibility is basically a matter of providing the right performance at the right price to win deals, because we all are basically selling solutions, and if you want to sell, you have to be the best fit in any possible scenario, either it is an RFP or a private negotiation. And basically, we start from a very cheap HSM with performance that are a good fit in many applications, going up to the 40K. Another interesting thing that I want to share with you are the numbers that you read above, that 1, 4, 8. Basically, those are the numbers of containerized HSMs that we have inside the device. It means that we have a real multi-tenancy. We provide real multi-tenancy in our HSM. So when you read 31, it means that our 40K is able to act like different 31 HSMs, or 4 or 8, depending on the specific device we are talking about. It means that you can manage the HSM depending on the use case, depending on what you have to do, with many different flavors, and it's quite easy for an IT guy to appreciate such type of features because are absolutely a differentiator with most of the other players in the market. I just wrap up saying that we offer, of course, any type of interface to talk to the HSM, and we have all the possible certification needed by the market. This was to quickly share with you guys what we believe are the main features in terms of flexibility of our offering. Now it's time to introduce Bartosz from Cisco. As said, but Cisco is a technology partner we work with, and we have managed to get some very interesting deals. So Bartosz, thank you very much for being here, and over to you to listen to your nice story.
Okay, thank you, Osvaldo. Thank you very much. First of all, thank you for the invitation and the great opportunity to speak to such a great audience. So perfect for me as well. So my name is Bartosz Witkowski. I am CEO of Cisco. So in the next couple of minutes, I will try to showcase you a bit how we managed to join the Utimaco products as well as the Nexus products, mix them together to provide the best solution for our customers, which is true, in fact, not from the last couple of weeks, but it is also, and was valid also a couple of years ago, because it's this relation and the mixture of those two vendors is valid for us from really couple of years. But first, few words about Cisco itself, just shortly. We are, let's say, the best term is that we are the integrator of the PKI related products. We are located in 3 cities, in Berlin, Poznań, and Warsaw. Poznań is the headquarters of the Cisco, but we have our chapters in Germany, in Berlin, and as well in Warsaw. We are in the market since around 20 years, and within the time we are closely cooperating with both, with Utimaco and Nexus as well. So what we are doing basically from the very beginning, we decided to not invite the wheel from the beginning. So we didn't want it to be another software PKI software vendor. Once we get the requests from the customers, we didn't insist to build something by ourselves, but rather than that, we focused to get the best knowledge and experience from the best products on the market. That's why we choose the Nexus and Utimaco as our partners, whose products we are basically selling to the customers. And basically, in each area, you will find in our portfolio that we are presenting to customers both those companies. So for the PKI, of course, it's a Nexus Certificate Manager. For the HSMs, it's obviously the Utimaco KMS products, also based on the Utimaco certificate management system, or Smart ID nowadays from Nexus. IDaaS and signing solution for the trust service providers, who are also quite very important our customers. In relation to the IDaaS, European Digital Qualified Signing, also Utimaco with the certification for the common criteria devices, which is important for QSCDs in this area. So you see that everywhere, basically, or one or the second vendor are fulfilling the needs of our customers. Interesting part is that even beginning of our company, which is started in 2014, is interesting because one of the co-founders, Jack Piekarski, was, let's say, invited me to introduce the Nexus products around 2008, when I was developer in the software house focusing on the PKI solutions. But our first deal that we did was selling the first HSM, Utimaco HSM, in Polish market. Since that time, we became the distributor of the Utimaco. We are hiring around 30 experts who are basically providing the solutions based on the Nexus and Utimaco products. So that's how this business grows up. So from the year beginning, we were strongly connected with both companies. But okay, let's jump to the next slide. That's all about the Cisco. I will not bother you anymore about it. The goal is to tell you a bit more about the use case where we managed to deploy and utilize both solutions from both vendors. We choose one of many projects that we did together. It's interesting. It's Polish, one of the biggest energy provider. It's an energy operator who is also the part of the biggest oil refinery group in Poland, Orlen. But the main goal in that project was basically for the energy operator to provide a solution, because the energy operator is the company who is managing the smart grid deployments from the beginning to the end. I mean, to the very last place, so to the digital matter on the customer side. And of course, you can imagine that there is a huge scale. So that's why we definitely are talking here about the IoT solution, which was deployed for hundreds of thousands of the devices. Why hundreds of thousands of devices? Because first of all, Energa decided to secure using the asymmetric cryptography and the certificates, the communication and the data between devices called the concentrators, and the concentrators on the very last end use the symmetric cryptography to protect the data with digital matters. But what is important as well, one of the challenges that was in this project was also the challenge to basically provide the solution from the PKI point of view, which will allow us to use those certificates. We are talking about the hundreds of thousands of the devices, but also coming from the several vendors, because the clients or the Energa operator didn't want to be locked to the one specific provider of those concentrators. So that's why we started. Let's jump to the next slide, please. That's why we started with let's say proposition to Energa to provide them basically the PKI infrastructure, which will be able to offer auto enrollment services based on the different protocols, not only one simple, but to have a chance to do it with several algorithms. Where of course the heart of the PKI had to be the HSMs, and what we did with them, of course, we had some challenges to convince the customer, because from one hand, of course, we are talking about a huge infrastructure. From the other hand, of course, very costly. So that was our job as a partner of both companies to convince and use our experience to convince the customer that the return of the investment can be found also using the different, let's say, utilizing the infrastructure to the different use cases. And that's how, for example, with Utimaco, what we did and how we convinced to use the Utimaco was, of course, first of all, the fact that the price list and the price list model of the Utimaco from ever was a very simple, clear. That was one of the benefits, that they didn't need to think about it. Okay, how much I need to pay for the next partitions, another cryptography algorithm, etc. It was very easy to calculate the costs. From the other hand, from the very long time, Utimaco always support partners with providing the integration guides to different use cases. So we are not talking only the fact that the Nexus and Utimaco always communicated to each other in terms of the PKI deployments, but for example, all the partners can utilize the great base knowledge from the Utimaco, how to integrate the HSMs with, for example, Active Directory write management systems, database encryption solutions, and those additional use cases. How, when we show to the customer how a customer can utilize additionally the HSM, or not only to the PKI, convince them that yes, Utimaco was the perfect choice. Very similar with the Nexus product, where of course the main driver for PKI was to protect the smart grid network. So let's say the technical area was the fact that with the one deployment, with the one infrastructure, that can easily also offer some additional functionality for the office employees, which was lacking at that point with the Energa. So of course, besides all what I mentioned about the smart grid protection and auto enrollment strategy for those devices, additional aspects that we managed to present and showcase was that we managed to integrate the Nexus PKI with the Microsoft environment to offer to the Energa operator customers, for example, log into the system with the smart card with the certificates issued from the Nexus to protect also high critical offline laptops, which you may imagine such organization always need to exist in case of emergency. Also to be protected based on the certificates, or even implementing the file encryption system or BitLocker encryption based on the smart cards, where everything what is related with the certificates was basically managed and provided from the Nexus CA. All of that makes that Energo operator decided to choose basically this combination of the products. Of course, we helped them to deploy this. We did all the stuff together also with the Nexus and Utimaco engineers, having a success deployment and end of the project. Nowadays, it's already in the field, as I mentioned, working with the hundreds of thousands of the devices. We are after already some renewal of the root CA, sub CA, so all those strategic processes working very, very fluently. Even if we had also already chance to update the HSMs and provide the next generation of the HSMs to the whole infrastructure, having a smooth, migration from old devices to the new one, and both products basically work suitable very, very well. And that's something very useful and important for the partners and the customers, knowing that for the long-term project, and usually the PKI projects are the long-term, it's nothing that will be decommissioned after 2 years. It's very important that we can rely on the vendors to provide such a long-term solution. Okay, the last thing worth to mention that, besides the fact that we are working and we are located in Europe, we have also a lot of opportunities to work together hand by hand, also outside of the Europe. So we had also a few projects, for example, yes, in Oman, in Bangladesh, where we did the integration with the Utimaco HSMs, and for example, Smart ID, which is the certificate management system from Nexus, including also the certificate authorities. Working together with the on-site employees from the Nexus partners and basically sharing the knowledge from Europe and outside the Europe together to provide the best experience and best solution to the partners. And the very last sentence from my end, because you see that the products on the different levels fulfill each other and you can have great benefits from using them together. But what I wanted to say to the very last end is that, it's important for the partners that tools, solutions are working well together. But what for me personally is important as a CEO is the fact that both companies has a very great strategy for the partners. We have always a great support from both companies, from the technical level, but also starting from working with the customers, with the leads. We always can rely on trustability and transparency from both clients, and that's, I think, the core and the best summary also for those two great companies like Utimaco and Nexus to work with the partners, through the partners to our customers. Guys, that's all from my end.
Thank you very much, Bartosz. It was exciting and inspiring listening to you talking about real stories, real success. Thank you very much again, and thank you very much, Rajiv, for joining me in this session. Thanks a lot. Geoffrey, I think the ball is in your court again.
Thanks. Thank you, guys. Thank you for the kind words again, Bartosz, and thank you for the cooperation and for those amazing case studies and success stories. And thanks, Osvaldo and Rajiv, for putting this together to the benefit of our channel partners, obviously on the call today. Okay. So I think we're going to be pretty much on time for the last session of the day with Jiro from our marketing team, taking you through the different marketing collaterals and assets that are currently at the disposal of and will be also in the future at the disposal of our channel community. So you partners can obviously create awareness and promotion around the combined offering. Hello, Jiro. How are you?
Hello. Hi. Fine, thank you. Yeah, you got the slides?
Yes, for sure. I'm just
way.
going to be sharing them now.
Yeah. so while you share them, good afternoon, everyone. I want to start by expressing our sincere gratitude to our speakers today, Michael, Volker, Paul, Osvaldo, Rajiv, and Bartosz, for their enlightening discussion on the Nexus and Utimaco solutions. This collaboration is not only timely, but incredibly valuable for our market, and it's exciting to see the potential it holds. Next slide, please. As we all know, PKI and encryption are the cornerstone of securing trust in today's digital world. Their role in ensuring data integrity and confidentiality and authentication cannot be overstated. In an era where cybersecurity threats are ever evolving, Nexus and Utimaco offer a robust framework that addresses these challenges head on. And you've already heard about the power and reliability of our solution in real-world applications from our speakers today. Next slide, please. We are fully committed to supporting you, our valued partners, as we navigate this market together. To aid your efforts, we've curated a comprehensive selection of resources, including detailed case studies showing successful implementations, the latest PKI trends report keeping you abreast of industry developments, compliance guides to help you navigate regulatory landscapes, and comprehensive HSM and encryption solutions tailored to your various needs. Next slide, please. Additionally, our support extends beyond just resources. We're here to assist you with joint webinars to engage and educate potential customers, integrated slide decks for cohesive and compelling presentations, active social media campaigns to increase visibility and engagement, solution guides and marketing events to drive demand, and of course, joint demos to showcase the capabilities of our solutions. And with full partner support to strategically target your opportunities. We believe that by working closely together, we can leverage these tools and strategies to our mutual success. Let's take advantage of these opportunities and make a significant impact in the market together. Thank you all for your time and dedication, and let's continue to build on this momentum and drive forward with confidence and enthusiasm. And now, Jeffrey, back to you to close.
Thank you very much, Giro. So again, we are, I think, perfectly on time. Thanks a lot for the update, and I think we are pretty much now at the end of the session. Again, thank you very much all for your active participation and for your questions. The recording of today and the slides will be made available to you all in the near future. Also, please watch the space. We'll be repeating in a few weeks' time another session for the partners that couldn't make it this week due to national holidays in Northern Europe and in the Middle East. And in the meantime, thanks for everything again, and bye for now.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you very
Bye-bye.
much.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
Jeffrey. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good day.
Jeffrey, I still have questions. Jeffrey, you didn't give me a chance to share my questions, but anyway, thank you very much. You're almost
you.
on time. Okay.
Yes.
Looking
you.
forward for the next sessions.
Absolutely. And Annie, if you got any question, please feel free to use the chat or send me an email. We'll happily answer them. Okay?
I will. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Raj.